Have you ever wondered why, after years of language classes, textbooks and apps, you still can't hold a basic conversation in the language you've been studying? What if I told you that you've been approaching language learning completely wrong all this time? It's not your fault. The traditional methods we've all been taught are fundamentally flawed, and today I'm going to reveal why children can pick up languages effortlessly while adults struggle for years with minimal progress. Think about this. For a moment, when a 4-year-old hears the word apple for the first time, they don't translate it into another language. They simply connect that word directly to the round, red, sweet fruit they're holding. Yet when adults learn a new language, we immediately create a translation barrier, hearing manzana and thinking that means apple instead of directly visualizing the fruit itself. This extra step is exactly what's slowing you down and preventing natural fluency from developing. Has this ever happened to you? You've memorized hundreds of vocabulary words for a test, only to completely blank when trying to order food at a restaurant in that language. That frustration is a sign that your brain hasn't truly internalized the language. You've only created fragile translation bridges that collapse under pressure. The revolutionary approach I'm sharing today bypasses translation entirely. When you hear coche in Spanish, don't think car. Instead, see yourself sitting behind the wheel. Feel the leather seats, hear the engine purr. This direct connection between word and experience mimics how children learn and can accelerate your progress dramatically. But there's another secret weapon that almost nobody talks about. Stay with me until the end, because this technique alone can multiply your learning speed by up to 27 times. It's deceptively simple, yet incredibly powerful, explaining what you've learned out loud, even if you're alone. When you try to articulate a concept you've just encountered, something magical happens in your brain. Those scattered bits of information are suddenly forced into coherent structures. The simple act of teaching, even if it's just to your reflection in the mirror, transforms passive knowledge into active mastery. Your brain identifies gaps in understanding and automatically works to fill them, creating stronger neural pathways and deeper comprehension. What you're about to discover might surprise you, because this method works whether you're 18 or 80, whether you're learning your first foreign language or your fifth. Your brain is designed to make these connections. We've just been trained out of our natural learning abilities by outdated educational approaches. Imagine being able to travel to another country and converse confidently after just months, not years, of practice. Picture yourself thinking directly in your target language rather than constantly translating back and forth. This isn't some far-fetched dream. It's exactly what happens when you align your learning methods with how the brain naturally processes language. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. If you're serious about mastering languages faster, hit subscribe now and join our community of accelerated learners. Every video brings you closer to fluency. Now let me show you how these two powerful techniques work together to create a language learning revolution in your brain. The fascinating thing about connecting words directly to images is that it doesn't just speed up vocabulary acquisition, it completely transforms how it changes your relationship with language itself. You begin to experience the language directly rather than constantly, filtering it through translation. This mindset shift is where true transformation happens. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because there's another hidden truth about language learning that most teachers never share. It's not just about how you learn, but when and for how long. Most of us have been conditioned to believe that marathon study sessions are the path to mastery. We've all done it, spent hours with textbooks open, drilling vocabulary until our eyes blur. But here's the revelation. Your brain simply doesn't work that way. The most profound impact comes not from studying more, but from studying smarter. Your brain operates in cycles of focus and rest, and when you align your learning with these natural rhythms, something extraordinary happens. Instead of pushing through 3-hour study sessions where your concentration inevitably wanes, divide your time into 30-minute blocks of absolute focus, followed by 10-minute breaks. This isn't just a scheduling trick. It's about creating a completely different quality of attention. During those 30 minutes, you become fully immersed. You silence your phone, close unnecessary tabs, and create a distraction-free zone where nothing exists except you and the language. In this state of deep focus, your mind absorbs information with remarkable efficiency. Those 30 minutes of true concentration can be worth 3 hours of distracted study. But there's an important journey most learners never take: the path of prioritization. The language learning world is filled with endless vocabulary lists, grammar rules, and exercises. The temptation is to try absorbing everything, but this approach actually slows your progress. Behind the scenes of every successful language learner is a decision-making process that most people never see. Ask yourself, what's the single most important thing that will push me forward right now? This question becomes your compass. If you're planning a trip to Spain next month, prioritizing restaurant vocabulary and basic directions will serve you better than memorizing the names of animals you'll never discuss. If you're learning for business, focus on the terminology specific to your industry before branching out. This strategic mindset eliminates wasted effort and creates a learning path that feels purposeful rather than overwhelming. Instead of trying to climb the entire mountain at once, you're creating manageable steps that lead naturally to fluency. Each focused session builds upon the last, creating momentum that carries you forward. Remember, what distinguishes the person who actually becomes fluent from the person who studies forever without progress isn't intelligence or talent. It's their approach. It's the quality of attention they bring to each learning session and the strategic choices they make about what to learn and in what order. Write in the comments, focus beats duration, if you're ready to transform your language learning journey with these principles. Now, there's another dimension to this approach that makes it even more powerful, that can radically accelerate your progress. What many people don't realize about concentration is that it functions almost exactly like a muscle in your body. When people tell me, "I just can't focus for more than a few minutes," they're describing a symptom, not a permanent condition. The breakthrough comes when you recognize that your ability to concentrate isn't fixed. It's trainable. Think of focus as a skill that responds to deliberate practice. Just as you wouldn't expect to lift 300 pounds on your first day at the gym, you shouldn't expect to maintain perfect concentration for hours when you're just starting. The journey begins modestly, with just 5 minutes of absolute unwavering attention. During those 5 minutes, you immerse yourself completely in the language, allowing no distractions whatsoever. As this mental muscle strengthens, you gradually extend your sessions to 10 minutes, then 20, eventually reaching 30 or 40 minutes of deep, sustained focus. This progressive training transforms not just your ability to learn a language, but your entire relationship with attention itself. The resilience you develop becomes a cornerstone of mastery in any field. The most profound revelation comes when you reach what psychologists call the flow state, that magical moment when time seems to disappear, and you're so deeply engaged in language learning that it no longer feels like effort. This state represents the ultimate fusion of enjoyment and peak performance, where learning accelerates exponentially. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring another fundamental shift in approach. Our educational system has conditioned us to believe that memorization equals learning. We dutifully create flashcards, repeat words until they stick, and drill grammar rules into our heads. But the architecture of your brain wasn't designed for this kind of mechanical storage. Your mind evolved to connect experiences, to weave rich tapestries of meaning from sensory input. When you learn through pure memorization, you're fighting against your brain's natural processes rather than working with them. This explains why so many vocabulary words seem to evaporate from memory despite countless repetitions. The alternative is astonishingly effective. Learn through vivid, multisensory experiences. When you encounter the Spanish word coche, don't just think car. Create an entire scene in your mind. Picture yourself behind the wheel, feel the smooth leather of the seats, hear the engine purring, smell the new car scent, see the road unfurling before you. This rich, experiential approach creates neural connections that are vastly more robust than mere memorization. Subscribe now to transform how you learn languages forever. Our methods have helped thousands break through plateaus they thought were permanent. This principle mirrors exactly how children acquire language, through direct, emotional, sensory-rich experiences rather than abstract study. By reconnecting with this natural learning process, you tap into the same incredible efficiency that allows a 5-year-old to master complex linguistic structures without ever seeing a grammar book. Write in the comments, experience over memorization, if this approach resonates with you. The fascinating thing about these principles is how they work together to create a completely different learning ecosystem, one where progress happens not through force, but through alignment with how your brain naturally works. These principles aren't just techniques, they're a completely different philosophy of learning that honors your mind's innate capabilities. If you've stayed with me until this point, I can tell you're serious about transforming your language learning journey. This approach has helped thousands of people break through plateaus they thought were permanent limitations. And I'd love to continue being part of your language learning breakthrough. If this resonates with you, take a moment to subscribe to this channel. I share these evidence-based, counterintuitive approaches that challenge conventional wisdom about how we learn, not just languages, but anything that matters to you. Each video peels back another layer of how our minds actually work, rather than how we've been taught they should work. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this approach. Drop a comment saying, "My mind was built for this," if these ideas have shifted your perspective on what's possible in your language learning journey. Your feedback helps me create content that addresses your specific challenges. If you found value in these insights, a simple like lets me know this content is making a difference and it helps others discover these principles too. The community that's forming here is unlike any other, filled with people committed to mastering not just languages, but the art of learning itself. There's a video right here that explores how to create your personalized language immersion environment, even if you can't travel abroad. Click and continue with me there as we build on these foundations and take your learning to the next level. Until then, remember that your mind already possesses everything it needs to master any language. It's just waiting for the right approach to unlock its potential.